Okay, so by this stage, you should have filled the area that your frame aperture is going to fit. You can see here that I've done a mixture. I've left some of the curls long and fixed in. I've done some flat felted flowers, but I've mainly used the curls that I showed earlier. So I'm just going to show you a technique and why I've called this a burst of summer. And I'll also show you the other version, which is a flatter version later. So it might be helpful to get, you could maybe use a bathroom sponge, but this is a bag that's just filled with some felt. And I'm just going to lay that over. Now have your felting needle and have your mat ready. Sometimes, especially if you use the sari silk mix, you can find that they can fall off, but it's not the end of the world. So this is just while we're just playing around with this. So the idea is that I'm going to gently push this through just to get me started. And what I want to be able to do is where I have some of the flowers here at the top, I want to gently tease them through. Okay, so I'm just going to gently press on that. Press at the bottom. I find pressing rather than like tugging at the flowers is a lot safer. You don't lose so many flowers, and I'm just gonna get that to a point where I'm happy with that. Then gently hold it off. That's to one side. I have the backing here for my frame. And at this stage now, it's fine to just gently push through. Okay. And then again, very similar to having a sponge. If you've got something you can use that has a hole on the top of it, I'm going to very gently, I've just put my hand underneath that. Oh, a little bit too much. Not to worry, if that happens to you too, it's not the end of the world. So I'm just going to hold that over. Okay. So I started off doing this with a lot of felt, so I had a lot of overhang, but don't worry if you don't have as much as this. Okay, so I'm taking the back. I'm just going to move my camera just a little bit up. There you go, so you can see. So I'm just at this stage gently placing into the gap, and then it allows me to pick the frame up and turn it over. Okay, and I can move that to one side and I can push that in. Okay, so the idea now with this is you can lay it down on the top. This actually is one of those where you have nibbles on a buffet, a Lazy Susan. It was fairly cheap, but I think it helps with finishing. So what I'm going to do now is just have a look around, look at the flowers, see if any need securing. These seem fine. At this end, I wanted to like create like little grasses, so I can just tease them out there because I want them to be out. See that one? A little bit more, and see the effect then that you get there. And I know I've got a green curl there that I deliberately did a little bit too long. Okay, now remember I shown you I did like some grass like at the side, so I quite like that poking through at the side. You can have a look underneath as well. Now, I don't want the green felt showing, so the other end, like the hook end, I can gently push, just push that down. Okay, now if you've got some flowers that are loose, a really easy trick here is take the wooden back off and just pop your felting mat underneath, and then you can just felt them in. But luckily today I am fine. So I'm going to go around. Is there any cut? Quite happy with that. On this side, I'm happy with that. Just down a little bit. So in terms of the final part of this, all I would do then, I'm just going to hold the back because I've not secured it yet, and turn it over. Whilst that backing was on, I will go around and I will trim the back. I'll trim it, but not all the way, just leaving a little edge there. And then you've got the option of, it just depends what frame that you have. So on this, I do actually have a little groove underneath. So I can just put some glue in, stick the felt in there, and then just fasten the back on. So that allows you to have that 3D effect. Now, in terms of caring for this, if you're making this to sell, then you just need to put on in terms of the description of the item to keep it away from direct sunlight, because the colours will fade. And what I do with my felt pictures, when I don't have glass at the front of them, I use a hairdryer on a very low speed on cool and just run it over, and it allows the dust to come away from that. The alternative option you have with this is not to push it through the frame. You can have it a lot flatter. So I'm just going to turn it over after doing all that hard work, but not to worry. Just take the back off. There we go. Just gently. If you do change your mind, it isn't hard to do that. So what I would do with this, just again, you can see if any flowers are loose and do that final. I would then cut around. I would just leave a little, probably 1/2 centimetre going all the way around, and then I would get some iron-on backing, and I would iron the backing onto this. I would then put this into my frame. You could do that with the glass. So I will put my glass in with this one, and I'll just show you how that effect is different. Okay. So actually behind the glass, the picture is a lot more squashed. Now, on one particular commission I did, that's what the client wanted. They wanted it behind the glass. So it's up to you, really. I think with the glass, it looks a lot more like pressed flowers. And what you can do if you're doing that is you can add embellishments that you wouldn't necessarily needle fell in there, and then they'll stay in there. So the little white neps, I don't really like using glue. I try and use it as little as possible. So on the picture that you can see on the screen, that's got a lot of the wool neps on. I wanted to give it that effect of like tiny white splashes of flowers over there, but because it was under glass, it didn't matter. So you can do that. So it's up to you, really. I like the burst of colour because I like that 3D effect, as you can see here on the screen. But alternatively, if you want to do the iron-on back and put that behind glass, then that works fine too. Okay, so please do like this video. and subscribe to my YouTube channel if this has helped you. And please do share your makes at Sally Bonnie Fibre and Art on Facebook. Thank you very much. Happy making.